Well, good morning, everyone. I'm James Coltis. I'm from Iowa State University. Thank you very much for your participation in the meeting. We've got a great turnout. I hope from yesterday's discussions everybody learned something new and found out some unique information about high-throughput phenotyping and big data. I think the organizers have talked about this quite a bit. It's really just data. We all have different perspectives and different information that we're interested in. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out how to deal with the challenges. From yesterday's talks, we certainly had a very diverse set of data types, different types of analyses, starting out with a talk on plants and phenotyping in plants, and I certainly hope that the livestock community can find ways to leverage what the plant community has done. We had some very high-level kind of views looking at systems with the talk by Victor, and I hope that's changed some folks' perspectives maybe in thinking about how we prioritize our work or how we look about kind of the value at different levels of using this data. There were a lot of underlying themes, I think, that came out yesterday. Certainly in the breakout discussion, there were a lot of talks about data and richness of data and metadata that can be captured and the need to capture more metadata, more information, how to make sure that data is more translatable, how do we get it to the industry, and then in some cases, how do we go back and forth between industry and academia to make the best use out of it, both in terms of application, but also in terms of scientific discovery. And then towards the end of the day, we had some nice talks about data analysis, looking at how we can design our systems and our facilities, using big data, looking at using sensors, image data, so many diverse types of data. And certainly in our lightning talks, we had some nice examples of different applications. In today's session, we're going to focus a bit more on computation and data visualization. And another theme that I believe came out yesterday in discussions is that there's a need for not only increased interdisciplinary research, but a need for more communication amongst folks from different disciplines to help train students, as well as current faculty and researchers to kind of gain a working knowledge base of what is the sort of large data analyses and the type of analyses that are appropriate. And so something I hope that comes up today, I hope folks get exposed to some new types of analyses, but maybe we can start also to think about how do we share that across different research groups to ensure that we get the most from our data and make the best use of our data for a long time, especially since we already have a lot of existing data sets that can be used. So our first speaker today is going to talk about sensor data with applications in plants. And so there are a lot of opportunities to use this type of data to impact on-farm decision making. I think a lot of what we've discussed so far is from a research perspective and how can we use this to gain information that we can use to come back and affect decisions in the future. But hopefully part of what we will also see is an opportunity at some point to develop these technologies to make real-time decisions on farm or on whatever facility it may be within industry. I think there are some real opportunities to impact animal welfare, health, efficiency, lots of things that are important not only to producers but to society as well. So our second speaker will discuss data visualization and conceptualizing large and diverse data types into information that can help us make decisions. I think after yesterday's discussion, besides talking about the need to maybe spread more ideas on how to analyze this data, another topic that came up was also how can we help educate more on computing and computing methods. So I hope today's session will give you some ideas and get you started in thinking in those areas, and hopefully in the breakout session today we can talk about that a bit and also summarize some of what we discussed yesterday. So with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker this morning.